see all those. It's like that veil thing. We don't really see each other's, we see the energy around each other. We see you in that magnificence and that beauty, so all that higher spirit, inner glow. So I'm just kind of psyching you up to say, oh yeah, she was having an inner glow. It was a hot flash, but we can call it. Did everyone come back? Oh, I see a cup without a person. We're waiting for someone. There's a cup without a coffee.
She might still be here.
It's a coffee.
She's here in spirit.
But Justin did say we can use the men's room.
Yeah, I was going to commandeer it myself. I figured, you know what, just plant some female person out in front. But then we have a lot of man beings here, so we don't want to take your body parts away. So, we won't do that. Well, that's how our kids were small. Did everyone come back? Are we missing someone? We're missing Patty. Right? Isn't that where Trisha's sitting? She's sitting there. She's sitting there. I don't mind if they're in the bathroom. It's okay. They can be in the bathroom. I don't really have that much to say. Everybody loves. Just so you know, I've been teaching in Colorado for about 23 years. And the biggest challenge for me about coming to an event such as this is that I teach classes that take 8 or 10 hours. I mean, seriously, we gather at the ranch. I raise buffalo, and I live in Agate, Colorado, and so raise buffalo. So we gather at the ranch, and because there's nothing for thousands of acres around me, I always make lunch, and everyone brings something. Cherokee people are big on feast, so we feast and we celebrate. We are big celebrating people, of celebration of life and of all pieces of our life. So the people who come always bring a little something to add to the feast. And so, yeah, we have a break and we have, beautiful lunch and an afternoon break. But it's an all-day event. You can't have someone drive that far and say, okay, we got an hour. So and then sometimes it goes beyond what we thought. And, it's dark and everyone's like, how am I going to get out? Take Owl with you. Owl will guide you. And it's all good. And we teach a class there and we do ceremony. And the land is just so sacred. And it's the people who come to those classes there at the ranch walk on the land where the buffaloes walk. And the sacredness of just the ceremony that happens every day. I always wanted to, and I hope one day I can still, have a weekend or a week retreat where people can actually spend the night and then begin in the morning. The buffaloes are so amazing. I would like to share that with everyone when they come. Because in the morning, right before grandfather, awakens us and then Father Sun rises, there is this sound the buffaloes make. And it is like this deep, orderling sound. And it is just like the earth is talking to you. And if you're not spiritual, you're going to get spiritual quick. Because it just, you can come in, yeah. And so, anyway, and then at night, so this is what we wake to every morning. And then in the evening, just as right before the sun's getting ready to set, the buffaloes begin their dance. And they run in like this figure 8 in whatever pasture they're in. And they run in this figure 8, and their little babies in the springtime are running with them. And it's just adorable. And they do this beautiful dance and buffaloes, buffaloes are big, but they are so graceful when they run. They run like a deer, and they spring, and they're just amazing. Anyway, right about all of a sudden you see them. They gather their babies and they settle down, and then next thing you know, the sun is gone. And that's their evening ceremony. So I always hope that if I get a chance to have some overnight or weekend or retreats, we can all experience that. It is just extraordinary thing. I was just taking up some time chatting until everyone got back, and so really I have nothing to say, but I can sure say a lot. So anyways, I had to bring my pad, and this is basically on behalf of keeping ourselves in line time-wise, because you see how much I could talk about just one thing for a long time. So this is just to keep me on point so I don't get off on something and, everyone's like, really, we got to eat now, so come on. I always tell people just either walk away or tell me stop. My husband just puts food in my mouth, and that works too. Anyways, I talked. It's my favorite way to shut up. So anyway, as I mentioned before, I really feel like I've been walking a medicine path my whole life, and I'm just going to make this distinction right now, is that in my tradition, in my background, all of the things that we have been talking about today, all of the different ways of calling that inner voice or piece of us that goes beyond our skin, we use the word medicine. And medicine kind of is a multi-dimensional kind of word where it takes on many different meanings, but it also can be everything all together. It is our the medicine, let's say, of a buffalo. Okay, buffalo, I can't do that one. It's got enough medicine. I could talk about it for 2 more days. Let's talk about the medicine of deer. Deer has the medicine of softness and gentleness, and of being aware of all things that are around it. And so being able to perceive beyond its space. It's in the forest, and it needs to know when there's danger or when there's people's coming, or two-leggeds we call, and that. So anyway, but it's all encompassing of who we are. So it's our characteristics as well as that which we carry within. I am from the Cherokee background, and also have what is called Selenon from my father's side. But I walked with my Cherokee grandmother, and that is the basis of where I began my work and my walk. I became an elder, so I'm actually called the Cherokee Medicine Elder by virtue of my age. Which I can't believe I just blurted that out earlier. But okay. And then, so you become different things in our tradition according to your age, by virtue of your age, and then other things that you become as you earn them. And so the year I actually became a grandmother in the physical sense, because my son and daughter-in-law were having their first child, I also became a grandmother in the tradition of my people. And the way it works in our tradition takes another 2 days to explain, so I'm not going to go there. But I will tell you that to say the old man or the old woman is, to some people would be offended, but in my tradition it is one of the greatest honors that you could be called. Just like, we honor and respect our elders, so, and they have the wisdom of lifetimes, of generations. We right now are the elders for future generations. That which we do here in our lifetime will be looked upon by future generations, and we are those elders. We're the ones who are forming and becoming. And in my tradition, it is about becoming. We are always becoming. We are given names, spirit names or whatever. And my grandmother was Black Swan, and I was called Black-tailed Swan from my grandmother. I couldn't even speak that name for so long because I knew who my grandmother was. And to me, how could I ever live up to being called Black-tailed Swan? And so it was really not that long ago that I actually stepped into my name, and that we begin to become who we are by those are named. I'm going to talk about, when I do my talk later, I'm going to talk about vibration and sound. Because in my tradition, it is about the sound of our voice. And when we sing and when we chant, you'll notice that a lot of times if you ever go to powwow or any of those things, the words may be just, hey, and it's like, how can you tell which song is which song? I hear that all the time. Really, what does it mean? And the truth of it is that there are some songs where the words do have a meaning. And we are singing a song with words that mean something. But in the truth of Native American tradition and of background is that the elder who, or the person, medicine person or elder or whatever, who creates the song, may be using these sounds because sounds and the vowel or the syllable or the word that's coming out carries the power, and they are your own power, just like you will have your own. But they have an intention that they imbue into that song. Cherokee man called Rolling Thunder created a song, and it's about a greeting song. And it's a greeting to all the spirits of light that come. Yahweh, Yahweh, oh Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. And this is pretty much just those words are not necessarily, do they mean something? Like they are a meaning. Like if I say, Donadal go hunting, means until I see your face again. It's Cherokee way to say goodbye. That is a word. But the words of this song, made by Rolling Thunder, has his own meaning imbued into that song. So when we sing that song, the power of that begins to rise up. And we begin to, it becomes a part of who we are, because the vibration of it. How many of you have ever been in a situation where somebody has been angry and you could feel, I mean, there are times when somebody began to scream at me, I feel, boom, I'm wallpaper. Man, they blew me back, I went into the wall. Because, you know, that's energy, that's vibration, and we can feel it. But it's about, in our tradition, about when you are in the presence of someone, or when you walk away from someone, to leave them with a sweetness. This was the medicine of my grandma. My grandmother's medicine was sweet almond oil, and her main medicine that she brought to the world was for everyone to always know, see, and appreciate the sweetness of life. Even if it's a time that is a time of struggle or of sadness or tragedy, there is sweetness to be known in those moments. And that's one thing my grandmother always reminds me. Because, you know, I'm with you. I am as you are. I'm one of those people who has a lot of things happened in my life, and they brought me to where I am, and each one of those has been a gift and a teaching. I'm going to shut up on that part now because I could go on forever on that. All right, so the thing about me, I said a little bit earlier, is that I kind of expanded and became and awakened who I am and stepped into that by, I can't see that number. Okay. I don't think I had too much to say. By following my medicine. So I just want I have to say this one thing. I've looked out into the audience today, and I see that there are so many people who have been students that have come to me. And I just want to say that it has been through these students who came, whether I was in a little basement somewhere or in a little room over there or in my barn on the ranch, and wherever I go, they come and see me, and they trust what I have to teach them. And through them, through what they needed and what they asked of me, I grew and expanded. And I've heard it said, and I truly believe that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And I bet all of you thought that you were the students and I was the teacher, but that's not so. You were the teachers who came, and I was your student. And I just want to say thank you to all of you for being my teachers, and for all of you who came today for being our teachers today. No, but